Coach Ryan Day has spoken out about the upcoming matchup versus the Purdue Boilermakers, and one person in particular that Ohio State has to look out for, and the first college football playoff rankings have been released, and we have to break them down and talk about the interesting matchups that Ohio State will be seeing in the college football playoff. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Columbus Football 365. Before we jump into the video for today, only 5.3% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. So if you are not subscribed and you're an Ohio State football fan, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. But getting into the news for today, coming from the 11 Warriors as the #1 team in the AP poll, coaches poll, and the new college football ranking, all eyes are on Ohio State. But this week, Ohio State's eyes are on Purdue. The Buckeyes travel to West Lafayette, Indiana for a battle with Purdue at 1 p.m. on Saturday. Earlier this week, Ryan Day called the Purdue head coach Barry Odom a very, very good coach, and the Boilermakers a very proud program. Day continued to show respect for Purdue on Wednesday, saying his coaches and players have not taken the Boilermakers lightly as they prepare for the Big Ten matchup. He said, "Each week you've seen them progress in all areas. I think it's a good team that has gotten better." So, last season, the Purdue Boilermakers were arguably the worst team in Power 5. This season, they're a little bit better. If we are looking at their most recent matchups, they're riding a high of a pretty close loss versus the team up north. Frankly, I'm not sure how they kept it that close, although I do believe that yellow team, or maize or whatever you want to call it, is a pretty overranked team at 21. But Purdue, they've been playing some close games. They haven't been able to win any of them. Their last 4 games in the Big Ten, 3 one-score losses, and then the Northwestern loss. But what's important about these comments from Ryan Day is he is showing that Ohio State is taking these matchups one game at a time. They're not, he's a better coach than I would be, because I would be saying, we got to prepare for Indiana. Just kidding. But certainly taking every single game, one game at a time, is exactly how you have to coach in the Big Ten. It's a hard enough league where some of the worst teams can cause a problem for you if you're not properly studied up and you're not properly prepared for that matchup that upcoming weekend. Purdue will be able to stress Ohio State offensively and defensively in their own specific way. Every team has their own scheme, so it's not going to be all that similar to any other team that Ohio State has faced, and they need to be uniquely prepared for Purdue, even if they're not a good college football team. They are better than they were last year, but they're still not very good. Ohio State should be able to make short work of Purdue, but we are going to see what is going to be happening this Sunday. But this is one of the reasons why Ryan Day has the highest winning percentage in the history of college football. It's because of traits like this. It's because of strategy decisions like this. Always make sure you're taking games one game at a time. Don't look too far forwards, because any one loss can be absolutely catastrophic in the college football playoff race. As we can see here on screen, the first rankings and hypothetical bracket, should the rankings for today that came out last night hold, Ohio State would be the 1 seed, playing the winner of the 8-9 game, and Ohio State would have a first round bye. Currently projected to be in that 8-9 game is Big 12. What they're projecting to be not the champion, but an at-large bid out of the Big 12, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, versus Dan Lanning and Oregon's fantastic team that doesn't have any quality wins, may I add, the Oregon Ducks. Both would be extremely entertaining matchups for Ohio State. Texas Tech, they have been, I'm not confident they still are, but I believe they still are ranked in the top 10 in both defense and offense. Texas Tech has 1 loss on the season. It's to Arizona State, who's a ranked team, a good football team when Arizona State's healthy, and that game came without Baron Morton, the starting quarterback for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. He has dealt with injuries kind of on and off all season since that Utah game earlier on in the season. So depending on whether or not Baron Morton is healthy, that makes Texas Tech a completely different team. Hopefully, they are most likely, if Morton stays healthy, they can win the Big 12 and they then wouldn't match up with Ohio State. But currently, as it is being projected today, BYU is who the College Football Playoff Committee has ranked as the number 1 team in the Big 12. However, it could be Texas Tech. Also, Utah is ranked 18th or 17th in the AP poll, but in the College Football Playoff poll, Utah is ranked significantly higher than that. It's because the College Football Playoff poll is created by people that are paying very, very close attention. Not everyone in the AP polls takes it seriously. Not all those people watch every single game, but the people in the College Football Committee for playoff committee, they know what they're talking about, and they are making sure they are getting these games right. That's why they have Utah very, very high. I think Utah is an extremely underrated team, but they got absolutely blown out by the Texas Tech Red Raiders when they play them. So should Ohio State win that game versus either the Red Raiders or Oregon, they would then match up to play what is probably going to be Alabama. But in that little quadrant, facing the potential options for the 1 seed in the third round, the semifinal round, that could be the group of 5 champion. Currently, this year, whoever wins the ACC, or the AAC, the American Athletic Conference, is going to be the group of 6 bid into the college football playoff. They're not going to be ranked in the top 12, which means they're going to get the automatic qualifier, and they're going to qualify likely as the 12 seed. They're going to have a tough matchup against whoever is going to be in that 5 spot. Most likely that 5 spot is going to end up being either the ACC champion, should someone step up, or the SEC championship game loser. So that's going to be a really tough matchup for Tulane, Memphis, or USF, whoever the American Athletic Conference champion is. But if they are able to upset what's going to be another fantastic, most likely SEC team in the second round, then Ohio State has an opportunity to get what would be a softer matchup in a AAC team instead of what's likely going to happen, as we can see the projections, 2 SEC matchups for Ohio State. It's probably going to be an SEC team facing the Buckeyes in the semifinals should Ohio State get that far. Last year, every single team that received a first round bye lost in the second round. So people were questioning, is it actually rest or is it rust? Ohio State has to make sure that should they earn a first round bye, they have to make sure that they are not rusty. They have to make sure that they are ready to play. They just got to make sure they come out strong. Last year, the teams didn't come out strong, and crazy stuff happened. But it does feel like people are saying in the comment section, I see it, that Ohio State is doing enough to win games right now. And then that tells me that people agree with me where they say Ohio State could even be holding things back for the playoffs. Last year, it certainly felt like Ohio State was saving some of their best plays for the playoffs, as evidenced by a loss at our place versus the team up north, followed up by a blowout of Tennessee, who is significantly better than Michigan was, and then a blowout of Oregon, who was the number 1 ranked team in the country at the time. Hopefully, Ryan Day is going to have more stuff planned for these college football playoffs, but we have to make sure that we are getting there. Got to continue to take it one game at a time. And I can come on to a YouTube channel and say whatever I want about, I'm excited for the Big Ten championship game. I'm excited for the college football playoffs, maybe getting a first round bye. But Ryan Day is saying the right thing, saying we got to take it one game at a time, starting with Purdue this weekend. Ryan Day came out today and said that he actually considered the current head coach for the Purdue Boilermakers as the defensive coordinator this year for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's how highly Ryan Day regards the defensive play calling ability of the coach and the coaching staff that we will be facing this Saturday. So we have to make sure that we are on top of our A game when it comes to offense. Of course, we're going to be more talented, but we have to make sure we come out, play hard, fight, have the right game plan, and execute that game plan. Then it'll be on to UCLA. Kind of feels like they've been figured out ever since they had that fantastic surge of energy when Jerry Neuheisel, I believe that's his first name, came in and started calling plays. So it's Rick Neuheisel's the dad, which makes Jerry Neuheisel the offensive play caller for UCLA. Hopefully we have him figured out, but toting the number 1 defense in terms of yards per game allowed and points per game allowed, only giving up 6.9 points per game, is the Ohio State defense. Should be on top of UCLA. Rutgers, another game, just prepare for it. watch the film, get ready, don't lose. Then it would be on to the team up north at their stadium. And I can't wait to watch how the rest of this schedule turns out for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Handle it one game at a time. Let's get this thing done, starting with Purdue this weekend. Ryan Day doing a great job coaching up this team, as everyone watching this video expects him to do at all times, because he's a great coach. But that's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Buckeyes.